that initial challenge, I think, taught me a lot about the type of support that I need. Uh,
Mm,
and by that, I mean, so yes, as Dr. Cassidy mentioned, I had pretty severe postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression. And part of that was just that I have a history of anxiety. And so there was that history there. And then also, I had severe preeclampsia during labor, and just some other kind of events in the hospital that just left me shaken up and really not feeling confident when I went home.
yeah.
Um, and so I think it was so helpful that I myself am a therapist, because I
Mm,
could easily say, I don't feel well, and I
mm,
think what I'm experiencing is postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. Um, and even though I knew that, it didn't change the fact that I felt so alone in that.
mm,
Because I think everywhere I looked, whether it be social media or friends that were having babies around the same time, they weren't struggling. They were dealing with the normal difficulties, but it didn't seem to be as extreme as what I was feeling.
yeah.
So I really needed to hear from other people who had gone through it. I needed to know that I wasn't alone. And I also really needed to hear that it would be okay one day, that I would feel better, because it felt so permanent in those early days. You're sitting in like a dark nursery, your baby's crying,
Mm,
and I was just wondering, when am I ever going to feel better? Um, so I think I was lucky that I could recognize that in myself, that I needed that connection.
yeah.
And I went about getting that two ways. One was just kind of reaching out to some friends, and saying like, hey, do you guys know anyone that's gone through this? And colleagues too. And I was lucky enough to be put in contact with other moms who, I think when you've gone through this, you want to help other people who are going through it. And so people were so generous to me and talked to me over the phone or over text and shared their stories and really emphasized, like, you will feel better, you will get better. um and shared also the things that had helped them, right, which had been, some of them went on medication. I would say 99% of them were in therapy. And so those were things that I knew I needed to do for myself also.